Let's do one more word with Chris Lintott, who joins us via Skype in Oxford, UK. He's the astrophysicist working in the Department of Physics at the University of Oxford. Chris, I want to ask you about the crowdsourcing site Eyewire, which is out of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. It's getting the public to help map neurons which communicate between the human eye and the brain. And apparently they have added a gaming component to the crowdsourcing process. And I wonder how you think this changes the experience for those who participate.
Well, I think it does a couple of things. Eyewire is a great project. I've played with it myself, and they've done a really good job. But I think making it into a game does two things. Firstly, it means you've got to know the right answer, because you want to give people points when they get the right answer. And so you need an automatic way of detecting what that right answer is. And that's not always possible. In Planet Hunters, for example, we don't know until we process the data what right is. And I don't want to make that decision on the fly. The other thing it does is interesting because as humans, we're very in tune with games. We're very susceptible to playing games with ourselves. We do it all the time. Even things like, well, I'll have a chocolate bar today, but then I won't have 3 more for the next 3 days, is a gaming way of thinking. And so as soon as you put a game-like element in, you switch people's motivations away from what we see, which is people saying, I want to help, I want to try and understand, I want to discover, into I want to be good at the game. And so we've played a bit with that, and we found in some circumstances when you give people scores, when you give people feedback, you find the bad people leave. Maybe that's okay. But we also find that the best people leave because they're trained into, I've completed the game. Why should I hang around? And so on our site, at least, if you make it more game-like, the results get worse. Okay,
let me do one more follow-up here on the issue between the pros doing what you do and the amateurs doing what you do. And obviously looking for planets, if you're an amateur, you want to go through the data that the Kepler telescope has brought in. Sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds like you're making a contribution. All well and good. How about, though, taking it one step further, which is amateurs doing work identifying cancer cells, which I gather is one of the new things that the Zooniverse site has got going. Are there places where this kind of crowdsourcing is inappropriate?
Well, the Cancer Project's one of ours, and what we're trying to do there is take some of the burden off pathologists who are looking at samples from cancer patients. And the speed with which they can do their trials is actually limited by the amount of time they have to look at images. And so what we're trying to show on Cell Slider is that the public can do most of that work for them. Obviously, the difficult ones have to be left for the experts. Then the experts can come in only when they're needed. And we think we can actually accelerate the pace of cancer research. So I think that's an excellent use of this stuff. I think where things stray into the inappropriate is where there is an honesty and clearness about what the goal of the project is. We go through an awful lot of work with all of our scientists to make sure that there's a real need for the public to do this. It's not enough. If people think they're doing this because they want to help science, because they want to make a discovery, it's not enough to just put things out there because it's fun. So we check that these are tasks computers can't do, and we check that these are tasks that scientists need doing, and we check that somebody's going to use their results. We've got the critical thing is just not to waste people's time.
Gotcha. Thanks, Chris.
My pleasure.
Support Ontario's public television. Donate at tvo.org.